Hi folks, it will be something slightly different to my normal scheduled programming. This is for people who have just started iRacing. So this is my Road to D class How to Get Out of Rookie series. Basically a multi-part series where it's probably only about 4 or 5 long. Just going to show you how to do certain things in iRacing, how to get into race sessions, and basically how to get out of rookie, which is basically stay safe and avoid incidents. So without further ado, let's crack on. First, if you're in the UI, I would start getting used to the UI because it is becoming a bigger thing. The website still is functional, but I can see them in the future knocking it on the head. So when we go to go race, we've got what's coming up next. Obviously, I've started a second account, so everything in the top corner is rookie 2.5, and we don't have a safety rating because that comes at D class. So what we're looking for is, depending what you're going to go into, I like road racing myself, so I'll be picking the Mazdas. You can go to current series. I think this is a bit of an easy way of looking at things, and then you can see that there's some things we can participate in with a tick, and with a little trolley mark there, obviously we need to purchase it. But that doesn't matter per se. All we're looking for is the rookie Mazdas. So if you come up to the top right hand corner where you can see tags, and then we've got a lot of things we can tick here to filter out some of the races that we don't need. So we can either click on rookie and it will show us all the rookie license class races, so you can see all of them here. Or the better one we can actually do is eligible. So you can see here that we've got all the rookie classes, and it will also obviously tell us where we need to buy stuff as well. So the one we're looking for is road. So this is our Mazda Global MX-5. So we click on that. Shows us the car, shows us where we're racing, shows this. We've got a few tabs along the top, so you can see the entries at the moment and the schedule for the next few weeks. So generally all these tracks should be free, as this is trying to get you off and get you started. So you can see current week we're at Oran Park, next week we're at Yokohama. So at least then we know if we can practice. If you did want to join a session, you click over here where it says drive now. It's a little drop down menu. You can test drive, or you can create a hosted session. Hosted sessions obviously will take some of your iRacing credits if you have any. Test session will just be you on the track all alone. Definitely recommend doing that, because you can go out there on your own. You can mess up as many times as you want. It doesn't affect anyone else's practices. So definitely recommend going in there, learning the car, learning the sim, learning the track. That's the biggest thing. I do have a video above my head where I'll show you how to go try and learn a new track. That will be in the Skip Barber, one of my favourite cars. And that's D class, by the way. So when you get out of this, you can pop in and Skippy. But yeah, it will just tell you, take it easy, learn the track, learn the sim if you are new to it, because it's not going to handle like other sims. A lot of debate whether the force feedback in iRacing is realistic or not realistic. I'm not here to discuss that. I'm just going to say, if you're racing another sim, get used to iRacing, because you're obviously here for a reason. Next tab along is track info. Now this will be an important one, because this actually gives us a lovely track map of where we're going, what we're doing, and we can kind of picture out the track and see what's what. So you can see turn 1, turn 2, 3, 4, 5. We come over the top again. It's not clear from this. But obviously I know the track, so we come over the top of the other track, come round. It's quite hilly, doesn't show elevation here, but I obviously know the track, and that's one thing that will be, you can know the corners, but you don't know what they're going to look like. So you can actually go, once you know the track, Oran Park, you can go to My Content over here, go to Tracks, go to Oran Park, and you can click on it, and you actually have another tab called Screenshots. So this is where you can actually get a rough picture of what the track is doing. Obviously this won't mean anything to you because you don't know the track, but at least you can see different parts. This is, for example, the last corner, so you can see we're coming down here, bit of a dip, uphill and then round. So you kind of get a picture of what the track's going to be like before we actually go there. So back on the actual race page, so you can see a series info will just tell you a little bit about the series, and then session info will be telling you strength of fields and splits of the race of the previous race. This will be quite good because you can see, obviously, Monday 12 a.m. You can see what lap times you're looking for. So there was 25 splits in this race. So let's go for the bottom one. We can click on there and we can see the results. So we can have a look here and see what the fastest laps were, see what people's average times were, and basically get a guide of what lap times we should be aiming for and what are competitive. I only picked the last one because it's split up by iRacing. So even though Rookie doesn't have iRacing, it does still have it in the background. iRating, sorry, still does have iRating in the background, so it can match you up to people that are of similar pace to you. But basically all we're trying to do in Rookie is get our D license / our safety rating up, so we promote to a D license. Over in the top corner, you can see there's a little helmet icon. You can click on there and click on profile. This will give you all your stats. So it'll show you when I joined, being a member for 1 month, even though that was a couple of days ago. And you can go to your licenses, see what licenses you got, rookie, obviously, and oval and things like that. And then this is your MPR status. So this is the good one here. So road for rookie, not ready for promotion. Your SR is below 3.0. You need 2 races or 4 time trials in your license class or above. So what that's telling us is we need to complete 2 races and we need to have an SR above 3, and then we'll get promoted. Same for all of them, same principle for everyone, but that is the main thing. Do 2 races, survive, get a good safety rating, boom, you're up to D class. So without further ado, we are going to go into a practice session. As I say, I recommend going to schedule, clicking on the current week, clicking this and clicking test now. That will load up a sim with just you in it, and you can go learn the track. Obviously, unfortunately, I have done this once or twice before, so I know where the track goes. So we're going to go straight into a practice session by clicking this one. This is not registering for a race, only the practice session. Right then, so here we are in sim, and we've turned on the big steering wheel here because I prefer running that in the Mazda. You can see in the garage we have a fixed setup, so we're unable to change it, but it's worth looking in here and seeing what's what. The fixed setups aren't terrible, but you probably, if you are getting further down the line, probably want to try and find your own setup / set up the car, but that's a whole different other topic. Before we jump in the car, we need to have a look at our options. We've already set up the controls. We've gone through that, which is brilliant. We're going to look at the other things in this drive tab. So steering wheel settings. I have a DD1, a Fanatec DD1. So these are what I use at the moment. Have a look through the iRacing forums and / Googling iRacing settings for then your name of the wheel. There'll be loads out there for what you can pick. So obviously pick what is certain for you. The field of view, you can change it, but it is calculated in a later tab, which we will go through. We've got some driver aids here, obviously the clutches and things like that. So the anti-stall clutches, if I spin, the game will dip the clutch in so the engine doesn't stall, which will be very useful because then we don't have to start the engine back up and things like that. We don't need to worry about pressing the clutch when we spin. Auto clutch is basically as it sounds. When I click a paddle, it will do the clutch for me. Auto blip means I change up, but the car will help me change down to blip the throttle. And auto shift is it just automatically does everything for me. So all I need to do is accelerate and brake. Auto pit speed limiter and auto engine start are very useful because again, if we spin and we don't have anti-stall on, we can have auto engine start on, tap the throttle a few times, engine will fire up. Auto tear off, so in some of the open wheeler cars a bit later on down the line, you have tear offs on your visor, so this will be auto tear offs for them. Also very useful in dirt racing. Driving line, definitely have that turned on. If you don't know the track, it will give you a rough estimate of where the guide of the racing line is. The only thing is it isn't dynamic, so the red markings for the braking zone don't change depending on your speed. They are just saying this is the braking zone, figure it out for yourself basically. Pit lane, exit line is very useful because it actually signifies where the end of the pit lane is. It's a blue line on exit. Brake assist, throttle assist, I don't use them at all, never have used them because then it's the car will do things that you're not predicting it to do. Basically, I'm guessing it will drive itself, which is kind of pointless if you've got a sim, really. The one I would recommend setting is the enter, exit / tow car. If you do spin out, hit a wall, you need to exit out the sim and come back to the pits. Definitely recommend setting a button on your steering wheel or a button box if you do have one of them, because the standard is escape on the keyboard. You might not have your keyboard near you, so setting a button that is easy to hand will help you out and also prevent any other damage, because if we do spin out, hit a wall, we don't want to get in other people's way. The other thing is look left and right, particularly if you're on a single monitor. It can be very useful just to have a glance to the left and basically see what's there, where there is a car there. In the options tab, not too much in here to be honest. Some of the text chat, video options, external displays aren't really that applicable to many people. If you are getting these things, then obviously it'll be self-explanatory. The things that are important is auto text chat. So these will be set up to the number keys along the top of your keyboard, and you can change them quite easily. You can also change what they say as well. So it says my bad, my mistake. You can actually write that in yourself. If I take away that, you can do it yourself and make it up, which is kind of useful to personalize your own messages. So let's put that back in. So thank you, you're welcome. Basically, it's one of them things. If I say pass left, pass right, or I'm going to say on the text to talk button, can you pass me on the right hand side? I'm going slowly on the left, and he messages back. I can message him back. It's kind of about making that a little bit of a community, a little bit of a friendly race and things like that. A few of the ones there that are standard is quit your jibber jabber. That is actually iRacing standard, which I think is hilarious. I don't have a button for it, but that was fun. And I have, well, that was silly. So if someone I thought something does quite silly, I don't message on the chat. I just say something quite mundane and normal, because you can get voice chats and actual text bans if you are a bit abusive over there, which I don't recommend. People make mistakes. It's frustrating. We live on. The graphical tab is pretty much all of this bit here about performance is going to be individual to your PC and what you have. The ones that we are interested though is these ones over here. Now these will be obviously unique to your driving situation, but they are very important to have a look at. So monitor width including bezels, obviously actually the physical width of your monitor, including all the plastic shrouding on the outside from left hand to right hand side. Visible width excluding bezels, so obviously the actual monitor panel, so the bit that actually makes pixels. How wide is that? The reason iRacing wants to know that is if you have triples, the join in the middle, you'll also have two bezels on the corner. It will try and work out the best way to get a nice smooth line between the two transitions of the monitors. Viewing distance will be actually from my eyeball to the actual panel, sorry, wrong arm, eyeball to the panel ahead of me, and that will help set our field of view. So imagine the monitors are your window into the sim. If you sit miles away from your window in your bedroom or your living room, you can't see a lot out the window because your field of view is reduced. If you go sit right up against the window like that, obviously you can see loads up and down, you can see loads left and right. It really opens it up. A monitor is exactly that to our sim. Once you enter these values in, and they are changeable between inches and millimeters, it will then set the field of view, which it thinks is best for you. So I wouldn't tweak it too much. It is kind of one of them things, once you feel like you're in the car, it's absolutely brilliant. Angle between center and side screens, again, if you have the monitor, it is looking top down now. It is looking for this angle in here, or this angle in here. I can't remember which way around it is, but basically measure it with a protractor and you should be all golden. The other thing we can do sitting in the car like this, just leave it for a moment and then we can press escape and exit the sim. Basically what we're looking for is when the camera actually goes to our car, see our driver is in. So then what we can do is go to cockpit, no, wrong one, cockpit view. Now if you actually press Control F12, it will bring up the camera options. So then what you can do is press spacebar at this point, and then what you can do is actually physically move the camera with the WASD keys. So W is forward, S will be back, A is left, D is right. Then what you can do is hold Control and it will actually move the cameras a little bit different. So at the moment we're sort of turning our head like this, and also it will enable tilt, so then you can actually see a bit more of the car. So what this is what I tend to do is I tend to go a little bit further back and a little bit lower. So what I'm doing now is Alt and S to bring me a little bit lower. So then what I try and do is match the top of my steering wheel with the top of the steering wheel in the sim. So I can add a little bit of tilt with Control W and Control S, and I want to go left a little bit just so the steering wheel is nearly on my steering wheel. So then basically I can see the dash through it, and I can see over the bonnet and over the steering wheel. This is kind of useful because it doesn't actually change your field of view. Your field of view is still the same. It's only changing your head position in game. So it's kind of useful to get that sort of seat of the pants feeling, if that's such a thing in iRacing, or any sim to be honest, because I don't move, the sim does. But just to get a better perspective of where I'm sitting. So that feels actually pretty good. I can just see the steering wheel and I can just see the Mazda past my actual wheel. I can see over the bonnet. I can see the dash actually through my wheel, which is brilliant. I might actually take a quick picture for you and put it up there. It'll be a lot easier. Yeah, to try and feel like I'm actually sitting in the car. One thing I forgot to mention about this F12 function is once you've got your seating position just as you want it, make sure you come down here and click Save Car, save it as a standard file name, click Save. Yes, if there's one already in there, but that's not a problem. It will be the same for each car. So what you can do with that is basically use the black box settings to be able to adjust that. The black box settings I was on about, if you keep pressing left, you'll come to graphics adjustment. And you can see down here, it's got horizon shift and driver height. Obviously, the driver height will affect the driver in the car. And then you can set this for individual cars because this will stay individual to the car. So the F12 settings will be for all cars. This will be for the individual one. While we're also in the pits, having a change with our displays and our view distance, if you press Alt and K at the same time, it will make all the UI on the actual screen in a blue box. So as you can see here, I can actually pick it up and move it around. So you can move things to where you need to be and where you can see them. So this pit lane thing I actually can't see, so I'm just going to move that up a touch just so I can see what's going on. The flag icon, you can move that around. You can even move the mirror around to where on earth you want it on the screen. This is just a readout of how the system is, how the iRacing is running on my system. So I normally tuck that out of the way because if I have issues, I can have a glance at that and see what's going on. But yeah, Alt and K for that one to get them on, get rid of them and turn them back to a locked position. Alt and K again. So we have our controls set up, so we can click practice and then it puts us in the car. So you can see the black box down here. Yeah, you should be able to see that. So it does have arrows where you can move on the mouse, but I have set it to a steering wheel button where you can see my hand just through the steering wheel waving at you, and I can use the little funky switch on the Fanatec wheel to go through the selections of what I can do. The main one is this one, relative. This will show you where other people are on the track relative to you. Very useful when you are coming out the pits. So you can see there is no one behind us, which is brilliant. So our pit exit is absolutely clear. So we can put it in first on the gear stick. I need to put on my second glove. Make sure the throttle's working and we can put away. So what's the speed limit coming out the pits? There should be a box in front of us, which I can't see because I'm on steering wheel. And you can see there's a guy 30 seconds behind, so all we're going to do is just cruise around. Always be careful of pit exit, you can get a nasty penalty there. And this is technically turn 2, so I recommend you have the driving line on just to find out where you're going, but all we're doing is cruising at this point. We don't want to set any mad lap times, we just want to get used to the track and used to the layout. So this looks like a tight right-hander, nice and easy around here. There's obviously another layout that goes around there. Nice and easy. Just learn the track. It's going to be awkward to learn the track because obviously I already know it. But I'm trying to explain the best way. Just take things easy. Learn the track. Bridge. Right-hander. And that is basically all you're doing until you feel comfortable enough to start pushing. And if you lose the car, it doesn't matter. We'll just get a new one. We're in a practice session. The important thing is obviously understand that there are other people practicing on the track who are going to be at a different level than you, and you're going to be at a different level than them. It doesn't matter, we're all learning at this stage. I'm going to change it up to third. Nice and easy through here. Nice and gently. This is that last corner we saw in the picture, so you can see that dip. Nice and easy. You can see that's going to be very tricky in the race. Guy going all over the place, so we're going to move well away from him. He's obviously doing what we're doing, learning the track. Nice sound of him going into the pits. So what we can do is start poodling up, and now once you feel like you know the track, start increasing the pace, start braking a bit later. Nice and easy. Going a bit wide here, so we definitely need to brake a little bit earlier. But this is basically it, learning the track. Right, so all I've done here is just slowed up a little bit. You can see there's a car coming up behind. You can see on the relative, Alexander is catching up. He's 1.1 second behind. So I'm going to do nice and slowly, stay to a side of the track and just let him go. He's actually third. So what I'm going to do is let him go past and I'm going to follow him. So what I'm going to do, keep a nice distance away and I'm going to see what he does. So he's not braking for this turn 1, which is okay, and then he's braking here, okay. So I'm going to go down the gears. I'm just going to follow his line as best I can. Learn what he's doing. So when you're out and about on track and you're getting used to it, you will find that people will fall off around you, and all you're trying to do is basically spot them, because knowing where cars are going to fall off is going to help you in the race to not get caught up in incidences. When you are getting more confident with the track, start pushing the track, seeing what happens if you do go right over here. Okay, you see at the top of the screen there, we've got a 1x. So basically what that means in the race, we're allowed 17 before we get DQ'd. And if we get DQ'd, obviously we will get disqualified. So we want to minimize X's. X's also count towards our safety rating, so we want to minimize them as much as we can. So off tracks are bad. Right, so what we're going to do is push this lap a little more and see what we can end up. If we fall off, that's absolutely fine. because we just get a new car and practice again. But this is really annoying because no one likes to practice, but at the end of the day, it's going to help your racecraft and you surviving in the races to practice, get to know the track, get to know it like the back of your hand, because ultimately that will make you a safer driver, and then ultimately that will get you out of D-Class quicker. So a little bit wide through there because I was mucking up my gears. So you can see this car up ahead is going a little bit slower than we are. And very nice of him, he is getting out our way. That is beautiful, thank you very much. A little bit wide through there. Right, that felt like an okay lap. A few mistakes in it, but it wasn't too bad. 16.6, that's a little bit quicker than we went before. And unfortunately, we spun it. And you can see there the blue line that is dashing, so that is our our anti-stall clutch. So what I can do, first gear, there's no one coming on the relative, see the second away, second 17 seconds, 15 seconds. So all I do is get the rears on the grass, rev the Jesus out of it, and away we go again. But otherwise, guys, I hope this has been quite a useful video to learn what's what and who's what. Basically, the biggest thing from this one is practice. Practice, and you will find that your racing will improve a lot more if you actually spend the time practicing. You'll finish races better, you'll finish them more consistently, and ultimately you'll get out of rookie a lot quicker. So have a check on the next video. Not sure when that'll be coming out, relatively soon, because I'm going to record them quite quickly for you guys. And yeah, stay safe out there. I'll catch you on the next one.